water's extremely low. Just had a big front, probably 30-mile-per-hour winds. So with everything drained out, we decided to hit some canals off of the chef to see if we could find, locate some redfish. And sure enough, they have shown up. Look at that tail. As cold as it is, that tail is fired up blue. That means they are feeding. They're not the biggest ones, but they're right in the slot. Perfect eaters. It makes it all worth the while to come out here. Chaz drug me out. I did not want to go. It was 40 degrees. But once you're out here, you might as well make the best of it. You go catch some of these beautiful slot redfish.
Ooh, finally. Chris was wearing me out. The first 4 went to him. I finally got one. He kind of told me what to do a little bit. I think I was fishing them a little bit too shallow. I had to come off that drop off a little bit more. And also slowed that presentation down, went to more of like a light dribble rather than a heavy pop. But look at these beauties right here. That's what we talking about. Let's get in with the flip, baby. There we go. So we're fishing a very deep natural bayou off of the chef right now. And the reason we're using the matrix shad this time. As the last episode you saw, we went to the swim shad. That's because we were catching a lot of knothead bass. I felt pretty confident that we had a better opportunity to run into these reds over here off the chef. We put him in there, starting to get a well full. And the matrix, like I said, is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more durable. We went to swim shad last time. Smaller fish, smaller presentation, bigger fish, more durable bait. These reds can be a little brutal on tackle. That's why we're using that. I got the limbo slice on right now on a 3/8. We're just working it. You can see the mud on the banks here. You can see how low the water was. No doubt, biggest cold front of the year so far. Very, very cold. And there he is. There he is. Here we go. And then look, I don't want that wind to push me up on where these fish are at. So I'm more focused on getting the boat off the bank than I am getting this fish in. Because in the wintertime, what redfish are going to do, when you catch one, and I've preached this a million times, they are not going to be running in singles. Look at that pretty one in the water there. They do not run in singles in the winter. It is pure schools. They come out of the duck ponds. They get in these deeper bayous, and they gang up. Redfish in Louisiana need to be 16 inches. Give you a quick view on how you measure these things. I always put the nose up to the flatboard. Go right here. He's 17. Now, if you wanted to pinch the tail, that's legal to pinch the tail and get it over, but he's clearly over 16. He's making the box, and that is probably one of my favorite fish to eat. Those are perfect on the barbecue pit, perfect size, and 16 to 20 inch reds. Let's see if we can get some more.
All right, we just hooked up. I'm actually using the Matrix bubblegum pink. And the reason I went to that color, we're talking vibrant colors. We got an overcast today. It's cold, overcast. Big front came through. It pushed the water out. It turned the water up. So we need something that's gonna give a vibrant color in the water. They're hungry. They're feeding. Anything that swims past them that they can see, they're gonna eat it. So we're using vibrant colors like this bubblegum here. Something that's going to stand out in the water. Using a 3/8 ounce Matrix Shad-Golden eye. And the reason we're doing that, the bayou end is actually about a 10 to 11 foot deep, and they're right on the ledge. So we want it to fall right off of that ledge and get down to the bottom. Nothing for the box. Somebody, I ran into some guys. Look at that on. Look. Again, that bubble gum, something that's lit up, something that they can see. Now he's going to be a little short, and we're catching some beautiful fish. We're probably going to catch our limit. He's a little short, but you can see, you know, the blue that's on the tail on these fish. They are fired up, charged up, ready to eat. Go ahead and release him. He tagging. You know, something Chaz alluded to. You know, we found this over the years. When you find one of them, the rest of them will not be far. They'll be jammed up. So you can sit there and work on them until you bust that school up, and then you may have to go another 50 yards until you run them to them again. But once you find them, they're gonna be chock-a-blocked in there. You know, they're just sitting there. Anything that comes through, they're ready to feed. Another beautiful, healthy fish we're gonna release. All right, so we're fishing a natural bayou, right? And it's deep, you know, 10, 12 foot deep in some places, all the way throughout it. Everything drains out, and we're sitting in this bayou. We're fishing, you know, fishing the drop-offs in the bayou. You can see all the mud flats right there, and on the mud flats, where the water actually meets the shoreline, it's probably about 2 or 3 feet deep. So we're casting up to the mud flat, and then working that bait slowly down the ledge. And those reds are just sitting right off the ledge. As it keeps getting worked, we're working it down. The reason we're using a 3/8 because we keep working it down. Oh, that was him. We keep working it down, and as you work it down, it gets deeper and deeper. So you need that bait to keep falling. We're keeping a little tension on the line. You know, it's similar to trout fishing. Look, he tagged that bubblegum pink. He tagged it. Missed him. 3/8 ounce jig head. But as you keep tension on the line, it's just like trout fishing, you feel in the dark. Now, the video we shot last week, we caught a lot more bass than we did redfish. The reason being, we were closer to the pearl. The closer you get to that fresher water, the fresher it's gonna be a lot more bass. We went a little farther west where the fresh water doesn't influence this area as much. So it tends to hold a little bit more redfish. Now, you know, it's the winter time, you know, and in the wintertime it's cold. So if you ever want to come get on the boat, book a charter to try to catch some of these redfish and have some fun, you know, give us a call, bundle up. You see us, put on your hunting gear as if you're going hunting, and come on, get in the boat. And the great thing about this time of the year, we don't have to leave at 7 or 8 o'clock. You know, we probably left the house today at 10 o'clock and are still catching fish. And the great thing about fishing the area that we're fishing, even when the wind's blowing, you're still protected somewhere in these bayous.
Oh, cookie cutter size reds. These are the ones I like to catch. As 16 to 22 inches. Oh, look at this, guys. We like to tag fish too. And we just caught, oh, hold up. We just caught a tagged red. This looks like a wildlife and fisheries tag. Look at that. Okay, that's been on him for a while there. Look at all the grass on him. Let's see here. I don't even see a number on this tag. This is an old tag. Looks like the numbers. Looks like the numbers washed off. I'll pop the tag out That way if I can clean it off when I get home, maybe I can see what it says. This little guy's gonna be a lucky little devil. He's been caught for sure once, been tagged. I'm gonna let him go also. That's pretty cool to catch a tagged red on DockSide TV. That's obviously been caught before. That was a yellow tag. Our matrix tags are blue. Usually the yellow ones are wildlife, but like I said, this tag is so old. You can see that black. I'm gonna have to really wash that black mud off when I get home. I might be able to get a number on it and see where that fish has been. Again, Chris is using the bubblegum pink. I'm using a very vibrant limbo slice. We're just trying to use very exotic, bright colors, stained water, cloudy conditions. We know the reds are in here. We know they're hungry. You just want to get their attention. Redfish in the winter are not picky. Just get their attention. Can you catch these fish under a cork? Probably not, because we're coming off that drop off. Although we're throwing it in 2 foot, most of these bites are sitting at about 7 or 8 foot. But this bayou here does get as deep as 15, 20 feet, and it just varies. This is one of the deeper bayous that we fish. We're right off the chef with a very big, long, winding bayou that we've had some success in. We don't fish this thing all that much, but some of our favorite areas and man-made canals like the bypass and so forth hasn't been good to us the last few years, so we just keep trying other things. You know, we know the type of stuff redfish like when it's freezing cold. We know days like this when it's freezing. This is like my favorite time to target reds, is when it's freezing cold and the water's gone. I want the water as low as it can get. Like, it's even tricky launching the boat. We launched over there by South Shore Bait and Marina today. And it's even, you got to be careful because that ramp only goes so far back at every launch. And when it's this low, you got to be careful. You do not want your trailer to come off the edge of that ramp. But this is like the best time to tattoo the redfish, is when it's super low like this, because it just consolidates them into certain areas. God, it's a good one, right, Cha? I like them little puppies. This one feels like it's got a little booty on it, a little weight to it. Unless I might have him hooked in the chin. They get a lot stronger if they're not hooked in the mouth. Let's see what we got here. What I think's happening right now also is you can see this bayou right here to the left. The wind and current's pushing out that bayou, and it's throwing water up on that bank. A little ripple on that bank, a little current on that bank. And that's what we have caught every one of these fish you've seen on video so far within 10 yards, no lie. And I think that bayou, that water coming out of there is doing something to it. Look at that. That's a good one. It's a nice one. And what I tell you is he's hooked in the chin. Oh. See that lure showing? When they're hooked, when that hook is not in their mouth completely, they really do fight a lot harder. They just have a lot more strength and a lot more control over you.
Bassmaster here. So, as we keep drifting down the bayou, you know, we just mentioned that, you know what, we haven't caught any bass. And look at that, hanging out with the reds. Oh, Bassmaster. We're gonna keep him. That's good table fare. Another one for the box.
That bucket mouth. But yeah, today fishing the chef, it's a lot slower on the bass. The ones we are catching are beautiful, but just much more reds. You know, the ratio is a lot different. Right now, our ratio is probably 15 reds for every 1 bass you catch, where last week when you saw Captain Chris and I, it was the other way around, 15 bass for every red you catch when we were closer to the Wrigley. So I do have to say, I do find there's more reds as you get closer to the Chef, Chalmette, Proctor's Point, other areas. But either way, it makes it fun when you have multiple species to fish for. That makes a limit, plus several that we've thrown back, released. So, hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV, fishing in the freezing cold, using our vibrant colors. Limbo Slice, catching beautiful reds along with the pink champagne and a couple of bass. Make sure to subscribe to the Matrix Bait Box. Want to get some 3/8 ounce golden eyes, some vibrant colors like these Matrix shads right here in your monthly bait box. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out all our wintertime redfish and bass episodes. And until next time, good fishing.